Hey, how's it going, y'all? This is Chaz from Classic Komodo, and what I'm doing here is I'm just giving you guys a basic map overview of the new Second Assault maps that are going to be coming out for you guys on the February 14th, I believe. So for you PC and PlayStation guys, look forward to these. They're very nostalgic and fun, but I wanted to show you a little bit of how the gameplay has changed since the last maps in Battlefield 3. So let's get right into it. First things first, I'm going to be going over to Alpha, and as you can see in the middle, the field between Alpha and Bravo actually has a lot more cover than it did before. It's not just a death field anymore. So that's really awesome, especially if you're an infantry trying to get over to Bravo from Alpha, you actually have a lot of cover. So when landing into Alpha, you see there's a bunch of changes. One, the tower is gone. It's pretty neat to see that you actually can walk into the tower and there is a weapon pickup. It's the grenade launcher, so that's pretty neat. But surveying the Alpha area, you see that the grass is really good at taking cover in, surprisingly. I know it sounds pretty silly, but it's difficult to spot targets at a distance with that tall grass, especially if they're crawling through it. You can go through these little pieces of the tower, so that's a good way to actually get into the Alpha base. It can be kind of frustrating though, because sometimes you're just funneling into death. But the tower does lead down, so you could actually go through the field pretty well. As you can see here, this is the big wall that actually goes in between a lot of the bases. And as you can see, it spans the entire map for the most part, going left to right. There are some breaks in it. What you can see right here is that this gate could actually partially close to stop incoming vehicles going into Echo and Charlie and some of the other points. So that's pretty neat to do. It doesn't close fully though, so that way it's not too overpowered of a point. So infantry can move through and press that button again to open the gate back up if it is closed. Now moving over to Echo, this is a popular point because it's right out of the spawn from the other team. So Echo's pretty good for this gas station right here. It's mostly the same. There are a lot of aesthetic changes. The buildings are broken down. There have been a lot of additions to turrets around the area. This weapon pickup here is the snipers so that you can pick off people at the tower. Moving along from here, we're going to actually look at the other base. The other base has some aesthetic changes as well, but for the most part, it's almost unchanged. What you can see here too is that the look and just feel of the map is incredible. The autumn look is fantastic, and it's a really good change from the last game. As you can see here as well, they changed a little bit of the aesthetics. You see that those are now different types of bunkers, I guess you could say, on my right-hand side. And they changed the look a little bit. They added this building to your left right here, and a couple of other things. This is the front of the gate moving into Bravo. We're going to go over to Bravo and see what Bravo looks like. This is the gate coming in, and I'm going to explain how those things work in a second and how actually important they are when controlling the Bravo point. Here's another sniper that you can pick up, and here's the front. So when walking into the front, there's these barriers that you can lift and drop. These barriers actually are pretty useful in getting tanks and any type of vehicles stopped before they enter the wall. It actually provides a pretty good funnel point, so that way any enemy vehicles and stuff like that can't get through. A good thing as well is the fact that you see these spikes, they're not just there for looks. You could actually slam into them with a tank or something, and you'll take damage. Not a significant amount, but you will take damage. Here are the towers right here that you can actually go up onto the wall, and the towers are just annoying. They really are. They can be blown up by using a tank shell or something like that. RPGs can take out a lot of the walls, but as you can see right here, for snipers and all, if they're taking a lot of fire, you can close those gates, those window gates, so that way no amount of bullets or anything can go through. I mean, an RPG is going to change that up a little bit, but for the most part, for any type of infantry fire with any type of weapon, gun-wise, you're not going to be able to penetrate those little shutters. So moving along the wall, I just wanted to show you a quick view of how you can actually scale a lot of the wall and going through the entire wall. You can see that you could go a pretty far distance, and each one of these towers proves a pretty good point at kind of surveying the area and looking over Bravo, Charlie, alpha even. If you're a sniper, you can even look at alpha pretty well and stuff like that. So these towers can serve a good purpose if you're a recon player or if you want to bipod it up and stuff like that. But I wouldn't suggest staying in there because it can become stagnant. Looking at Charlie now, Charlie hasn't changed too much except again for the aesthetics, and it's pretty hard to actually see some players, like I said before, in this tall grass and such. It can be a little bit challenging. They added a couple of things to help players fight off other infantry and stuff like that. As you can see, these barrels, with my terrible aim, you can shoot those barrels and they actually will you know, damage other players and such. Now the D point. Jesus. Now, it's really hard to get footage right now, and as you can see, the tower has been already armed. Unfortunately, people love to join in on empty servers and ruin your fun, so I had to rush through this part. You could go through that center tower via elevator, and this elevator goes all the way up. Looking pretty cool, right? You could go all the way up to this tower and overlook. Now, me personally, I wouldn't do this. You're a sitting duck in the middle of the map, and everyone has sight on you. Does it look cool? Absolutely. Can you see everything? You bet. But everybody could see you. And it's not necessarily a good vantage point to actually be on. Mainly because of the fact that you have no cover for the most part. Everybody on all the angles can see you, and it's just not a fun time. But if you still want to go up there anyway and and be a pesky sniper, you can. You could go all the way up to the top, and as you can see these sirens going off right now, that means the tower has been armed and ready to go. It takes a couple of minutes for the tower to explode, which I'm going to show you in a second. So once the tower starts getting armed, you don't necessarily have to jump off right away, but know that that tower will go down eventually. Unfortunately, like I said before, somebody jumped into this map earlier and, you know, decided to do that. And there's the gentleman right there that tried to ruin my time, but let's keep going into it. Actually, what you saw right there is you could go down low. Here is the laptop that you can arm and disarm the bomb that will take out the tower. So right now it has 17 seconds left before the tower is destroyed. This is what it looks like before everything goes kaboom, and I'm gonna run up because this guy was really annoying. But I had to run up, and this is what it looks like. This is the Levolution on this map, and I tell you one thing, it looks pretty darn awesome, as you can see right here. Pretty cool. It'll kill anybody on that. So, the thing is, too, though, it's not the only fact that it looks cool, but it does play out the map, and it changes up the way the map plays a little bit. Delta is one of the hardest points to get, and what this does is opens another route on getting it to Delta. What you see right here is that the tower falls, but this is the extra route that you can get into Delta. So you've seen that, you know, you have your normal routes to get in. You have about 3 routes now. This opens a 4th route, and there's actually a quote-unquote secret 5th route, but it's not so secret anymore because for the most part, everybody has found it out. But this is an awesome way to get into it, and it also shatters this part of the wall, which is leaving an exposed area for other vehicles to get through as well towards the Alpha and Bravo point. Now, what I'm going to do is go back to this this very heavily guarded and heavily wanted Delta point, the hilltop. Like I said before, this is the one that usually is getting fought over the most, but is the most enjoyable and fun to get to. If you go down here, this is the quote-unquote secret way to get through to Delta. It's not guarded for the most part, but it only takes one person to kind of screw you over. So there's a stairs actually right behind me that lead you up to that elevator right at the beginning. Here's another way to get to that bottom. You'll see right here it leads right next to that radio tower that was there before. But let's go to that secret area. So what you're going to want to do is we're going to go back down through this area right here, and what it's going to do is it's going to lead you towards that Charlie point. You're going to go directly to this corner right here, and there's 2 metal grates. You knife through those, and what's this? You climb all the way down, and it's like a sewer system, or just an electrical, yeah, it's a sewer, I guess you could say. And you move all the way to this flank area, and you go underwater right here. You dive underneath, and you'll swim out, and what you'll find is that you pop right out where the water is going towards Charlie. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited for the second assault maps, and as always, stay classy.